Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.
Intro P.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know who it is. It is yours truly, the big guy with the big show, the Lord Nelson, that is, from the podcast Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals Entertainment. And ladies and gentlemen, I always say I have special guests, but once again, I keep them coming, man. It's the Lord. I do what I do. Special guests, music giants handling their business, and they will continue to do that. So as always, I like to read off something beautiful about them, something lovely about them, if they don't mind giving me a moment so I can big them up. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's special guests bring forth their thoughts with the power of amazing lyrics, accompanied by their unique style of heavy metal music. 5 heavy hitters swinging for the fences, touching on topics that calls upon you to think beyond what is being fed to you. The different vocal elements adds a welcome twist to their sound and takes you on a melodic ride that soon crashes into you with a harder edged vocal delivery. Just my perspective.
Well said.
So we are definitely appreciative of them taking time out of their busy schedule to chop it up with us. And now, without further ado, Live and Loud with the Lord welcomes the band Dark Con of Man. Yeah, clap them up. Yes, indeed. Welcome. So, first question, and first 2 questions I always like to ask everybody is, you know what, before I get to that, introduce yourselves, please.
Raheem Tobias Foreman, a.k.a. Amon Ra. I'm the drummer.
All right.
I'm Corey. I play bass.
There we go.
I'm Joe. I'm the singer.
Sir.
James, guitar player.
Justin, guitar player.
All right. Awesome.
Streams too. I forgot about that.
Indeed. So, where are you guys from?
Well, we're from like a few different places.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so two live in the Fort Walton Beach, Florida area.
Okay.
2 live in the Pensacola, Florida area, and then I'm actually over in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
So,
okay.
3 different towns.
Yeah, we congregate to Pensacola since it's a central point between Mobile and Fort Walton. So we all practice here in Pensacola at a pretty kick-ass studio that our guitar player James has. So,
that's love. So, I like to get into your business a little bit, like where you're from. So whether it be, you say you're from Mobile, right? Or Pensacola, wherever you're from, tell me what's the best thing about being from where you're from.
Ooh.
And I want to go down the line too.
That's a good question. The best thing about being where I'm from, honestly, in Mobile, it's the oak trees that are downtown. They're like, they hang over the entire street. And they're hundreds of years old.
Right.
It's absolutely amazing. To me, when I think of Mobile, I think of the oak trees. That's cheesy, but whatever.
No, that's very, very interesting. You never know what touches people.
Fort Walton Beach, Florida. It's the Emerald Sea and the white sand beaches out there.
Yeah.
On the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, we got the best beaches in the country here in the Gulf Coast, just hands down. Hey, I'll bet you money.
Just a great town.
Gotcha.
Well, the beaches.
Yeah.
The beaches, yes, indeed.
Beaches.
Right. I mean, we live where people vacation. I mean,
Gotcha.
So it's nice, man. It's nice. Definitely enjoy the area.
I got you. So
We got some great venues in the area. There's a huge music scene that's starting to pop up around here. So it's starting to grow all over again, like it did back like it was in the late '90s and 2000s. Man, it's really starting to pick some steam up, and a lot of really good bands are coming out of this area. So I think that would be what I think of when I think of Fort Walton Beach and Pensacola, this area. It's just the music starting to really grow.
Yeah.
So
anybody else, young men over there to the left,
Well, I'm from the north, so I just like the weather down here.
Yeah, he's the New Yorker.
Oh, are you from New York?
Yeah, two New Yorkers.
New Yorkers, hey man, listen, it's all love, man. What does Rakim say? It's not where you're from, it's where you're at. So hey, man, you just enjoy yourself where you are, man. So it's all love. All right, gentlemen. So music, what is it about music that speaks to you like nothing else?
What it does to other people, to have that power, to have them focus to what you're doing. And that's the biggest thing for me, is doing what I do and seeing how everybody reacts to it.
Oh, awesome. There's no doubt. The vibe is the vibe, man, is truly, man. Yeah. Go ahead. Listen, I want all of you to answer at will. Feel loose, man. Listen, there ain't no constraints, man. Be yourselves, please. Please, just open up and do you, man. We're good. We're brothers here.
There's really just a couple of us that are actually very like we actually speak. Like some of us are just kind of like, I know that Raw and myself, like when it comes to shows, we're the ones that we're yelling at everybody and talking. To everybody.
Yeah.
A couple of guys just kind of hang back. They're not really, the social butterflies that Raw and I are, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's
I got you. I just wanted to say, to you guys, just feel comfortable, man.
People, what the hell, man?
You do.
You act like I'm not up there talking to anyone.
I just want you guys to feel comfortable, man, because this is less of an interview and more like a conversation between brothers, man. So that's where I am. So just feel comfortable and do what you think. Do what you do. So to me, your imagery speaks loudly of, like, when I saw the knights, with honor and a spirit of loyalty to one another. So what was the inspiration behind this concept, this look, and how do you feel it translates to your music?
Close your eyes and ride with the music. Release your inhibitions and all your fears.
Bruh.
Well,
this is you right here, buddy.
Well, I've always had this concept for years about the Templars and history, true history, and speaking out to let people think about what's out there and how the world is working, and that we all live the dark kind of man in many ways,
right?
And so that reflects into the music. That's my brainstorm on that, and so
it definitely had a lot to do with like he said, the dark con of man, like being conned. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of con out there. A lot of people are brainwashed, and
no doubt.
Hopefully, people are starting to wake up with what we're seeing today. There's a big dark con going on right now, and
But then, with the shield and all that, it's all about the brotherhood, which is us, and and getting that message out to people.
Yeah, and that's what I believe I saw, because seeing in one picture where you guys are all in like the cloaks and everything like that, and I'm always in my mind, Lord Nelson. I was just like, man, I'm going on stage like that, man. I'm going on stage like that's what I want to do, So when I saw it, I was just like, oh man, I love that. I love it, man. Just the look that you guys have in that. So that was really dope to me, indeed. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, indeed. So in reading about you, I see you've gone through many lineup changes. So how many original members are still in the band, and how have the changes affected the music?
It's Joe and I are the original.
So myself and Raheem are the original. It's gotten better. I think the music, when we first started with one guitar player, we were writing some material, and I like the songs, but once we got James and Justin in the band,
everything just exploded.
yeah, having the two guitar players plus their writing really opened up the dynamics of what we could do.
Right.
And getting Corey in as our bass player was just the icing on the cake. I mean, he's a fantastic bass player, and he's a great stage presence too.
Yeah,
so.
Justin, speak up on your songwriting and all that.
I write songs.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of us don't really talk too much.
But these two guys back here on the driving force of Dark Hunter, man, they
Listen, I picture everything. I'm sorry, man. It's funny to me, man, because I know back, when I was a little bit younger, man. I'm a little older now, but I kind of like would just listen more and pay attention. But I love to run my mouth, so. But it's just I'm watching them over there. They're just kind of stoic and just chilling and doing their thing, So, but it's all love. Like I said,
they're the ones with the mystique. They're the ones with the
yeah, definitely.
But
the silent killers. I got you.
I'm sorry. In bands with Joe and Raheem for many years. We've been on the scene since the 90s. Like
we're old schoolers now.
We're true schoolers. What the fuck are you talking about?
I like that.
Yeah, we've always played shows together in all the different bands that we've been in. I've actually many years ago auditioned for the band Made of Hate that he was the drummer for,
Okay.
This is a long time ago. This is before I really got to know Raheem. And Joe and I have just been friends through the music scene for a very long time. And for many years, we just couldn't get the time to really do a project together. We were always talking about it every time we got in touch with each other and stuff. And this one came along, and originally they asked me to be their first bass player. And at that point in time, I had no gear. I had domesticated myself, had kids,
Yeah.
Just, man, sorry, not at this time, But then he comes in for a tattoo one day, and we're talking, and I'm like, I'm playing bass again, and put the little seed in his ear, and he was like, well, it's not working out with our first bass player. And I was like, well,
there you go.
Give me a time and a date. And it's basically, I wasn't going to let it pass. I've been dying to play with Joe, so
Awesome.
It's just many years in the making, I guess, so to speak.
Now that's love. So you said tattoo. You're a tattoo artist also?
I am. I've been tattooing about 15 years now. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is it about being a tattoo artist or tattoos that excites you? Because I have no tattoos, but I'm going to tell you, I probably watched every tattoo show that there's been out there, because it's, being on tour and seeing stuff like over in Europe, man, I saw some stuff, man. And I was just like, and I'll say, well, my wife left, so I'm just saying it anyway. I'm not being disrespectful, but you just see some of the most beautiful people. And I'm talking about tattoos and piercings and gauges. It was a totally different world for me. And I'm just sitting there like I'm watching a movie like, damn. That's awesome, man.
Being artists, there's something else over there, man.
Yeah.
My dad, when I was young, he always told me to follow my dreams and never let anything stand in my way. And I've always been an artist. I've always been into music, just the arts in general. And it just, I did what he said. I took his advice and never let it stand in my way. So it took me a long time to get to be able to be a tattooer. But music always, music and art always came easy for me. So it's just passions, and I didn't want to give them up. And I wasn't about to just work construction or work in a restaurant for the rest of my life. So, so I got my career going. It was a little late, but man, I've got it to the point where I've worked hard enough to where my work revolves around my life now and not vice versa. And I love,
like it.
A lot of people can say that. So tattooing itself it helps me be able to be happy and be free. And that kind of work is just, I couldn't ask for anything more, other than being on tour going around the world and traveling, get to see the rest of the world. Like, some people, but in time.
Indeed. Happy and free is very important, man. Peace of mind, man.
For the mental state, man, that's And but you got to work hard at it nowadays.
And I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mean to go into, he said the tattoos. I have a friend here named Wayne Munn, who's a tattoo artist here where I live in South Carolina. And, I always ask him things. I was like, well, what have you tattooed? He was just like, everything. And I just looked at him. I said, everything? He said, I've tattooed everything. I said from the bottom to the top, he said everything. I was just like, wow, okay. I said, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah,
So
man.
anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I got some stories, Another podcast.
I still want to meet Kat Von D though, man. I just want to be in her presence and just look at her. And just because, I just seen her growth, through the years and marriages. And anyway, we're rolling it back to you guys. I apologize. So you kind of said it, but do you feel the current lineup you now have is the true foundation for your ultimate success?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else or anyone else doing this without each other.
Got you.
Well, yeah. I think it's pretty much set in stone. Unless there's some kind of catastrophic event where we can't do it, you know what I'm saying? Then
got you.
I think it's safe to say that the lineup is pretty much, how everybody wants it, So we've all grown a great bond together, and it would suck to have to, change anything up. I think this is a strong foundation personally, and I couldn't think of anybody else better to play in this group, with the people that I'm playing with now.
Love. I love that. Indeed.
Very much love and much thanks to you and Ryan and Distilled and everybody.
Yeah, my boy, man.
And we're looking forward to doing our thing for you guys, and that's it. Hopefully, we'll be seeing each other around.
Yes, indeed. Putting in that work, man. And listen, once again, I'll say it a number of times. I'm thankful to have you guys here, most definitely. But we're gonna the two stoic individuals, I'm gonna try to keep bringing them into the dark side over here with the Sith Lord, So this next question these next couple of questions might get them in here. So, what is your process of writing? Is it a collaborative effort or one individual who's the creative that brings the ideas to the band?
I think it's
yeah, we got him going.
He does his own writing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off. I'm a little excited about you talking, but go ahead.
He speaks. We both do our own writing, and sometimes we'll bring an idea to a table and see if we can build off of it or something,
Mm-hmm.
Justin and I have known each other for 20, 25 years.
Okay.
Done music with each other about that long.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a couple different ways we went about it. But most of the time he writes his own stuff and I'll write my own stuff.
Okay. And then you just bring it to the guys. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what I like is I'll get a recording and then I'll listen to their ideas and then I'll start coming up with melodies and, writing lyrics. And so then I'll record over it and send it back and go, hey, what do you think about this? And then we go from there. So that's been a lot of fun. Getting to do that. It's like getting a gift that they're like, oh, I got a new song coming to you. It's like Christmas, and then I get to listen to it and write to it. So that's been a lot of fun doing it that way.
Justin, he helps me out with putting stuff to a drum machine. He puts his drum beats on it and record it and then send it to us, and then I can use that for structure to do what I do.
What you do. Yeah.
So.
No, that's love because myself and Matt Acevedo and the band that I'm in now, Plastic Catastrophe with Lord Nelson. So he's in Texas. So he's right outside like Fort Worth, right outside Dallas. And man, when he sends me stuff, as you say, sending you something and I'm waiting, it's like a gift. I'm just like, man, and he's just like, I don't want to send you too much stuff. I was like, man, come on, man, send me as much as you want because I love to write. When you spoke about melodies, I'm a big melody person. So when I hear that, I'm just and then it's just on from there. And I'm just like, I'm just ready to write. So I feel you when you say that, man. There's nothing like getting that music and you guys being in the same room together. I think that's a good thing. Even though you're apart, you can still send stuff. Thank God for the internet, man. Thank God for computers. It could be bad, of course, but thank God for the stuff that we're able to really collaborate, even if we're not together, man. So that's a lovely thing. So,
yeah, I mean, think about how it was back in the day, man, with the cassette tapes and
and
the snail mail,
the CDs, trying to share ideas. It was crazy.
Hanging from the lamp in the middle of the room, trying to record everything on a generic,
or a 4-track. You get a 4-track,
or even 4-track. I think the first thing I ever recorded on EP for my first band was on a 4-track. We paid some dude like $300-400. I think it was $100 a track on his thing. I don't know how he worked it, but Dude, yeah, I still have the original DAT for that thing too.
The dad tape, this is wild.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Like the Tascam. Like using that Tascam was big back then also. Oh, man, I got chills right thinking about
Guys are like, what's a DAT tape? Yep. That's how you know you're real.
Yes, indeed, man. That's awesome, man. So, what is the actual recording process from start to finish? We kind of talked about it, but how do you start it here and then you finish here like this is the final? Do you take it to that big studio or do you guys do it in-house? How do you do that?
We do it all right here in this room.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a guy that'll mix it down, master it for us, but we do all recording here and in our practice space.
Awesome, man.
It's perfect for it.
Yeah, it keeps the overhead low.
Very important in today's music also.
Yes, you can invest that money into other things like equipment and going on the road and merchandise and stuff like that. So
yeah. I don't think a lot of people understand how much time and effort and money and care that we put into what we do. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a hobby. Well, it's not. To most of us, it's not a hobby. It's something that's ingrained in us, man. And we're immersed in this. We're swimming so deeply in this stuff. And I can't think about, my wife always says, like, do you think about anything else other than music? And I'm just like, of course I do. Sometimes.
We're a different breed, musicians are. We're just a different breed.
Indeed. So music is love. I don't know where I'd be without it, man. I enjoy it too much. So
yeah, I can tell you for that 15 years that I was domesticated, it really it definitely like the part of me was gone, Like you see somebody looking at out the window, holding the hand on it all. Yeah, that was me, dude. Yeah. I was missing it. But
I feel you. I still did my thing. I've got 3 children, man, and I missed a couple of things that they did, but I still just did both. I just did what I could, man, And so hey, we make it work for ourselves.
Yeah.
So have you guys learned anything from performing with the bigger name bands that you now use and truly works for you that you use on stage when you're doing your thing?
Setup time, breakdown time. Yeah. Like you got to be professional about that stuff. I mean, we were always pretty quick about it anyway.
Yes.
But getting in there, I mean, dude, we were record times. We were getting set up in 6 minutes, ready to go. We were breaking down in 3 minutes and off the stage. I mean,
especially playing with Soulfly. It was clockwork, man. On off. But
you had to be on point with those guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely noticed the difference between that and like, normal shows that we would play out at another venue, you know what I'm saying, with, just underground bands and stuff like that. Bands take their time in between sets to kind of like hang out with the crowd and slowly. It's like, but now, like with the few shows that we've been playing with these larger bands that we're fortunate enough to play with, I'm kind of like just bringing that principle to all of our shows. Get on, get off. You know what I'm saying? Once we get that stuff on, we play our show. Let's get the stuff off as quickly as possible, and even help the other bands get their stuff back on and off. So
and the great thing about that. Have been with those guys, those bands like that. It brings their fans to come and see them. That will come and see us.
Of course,
it just opens everything for.
Indeed, you want to leave that impression on them, man. But Joe, now let's keep it real, man. Now I'm gonna focus on you for a second. I mean, being the front man. No, we just do our thing and we get the hell off the stage, man. We let them handle it. I'm joking, because at first. I would help with everything. And then Rich told me, he's just like, no, if you get hurt or something happens to you, just some freak accident, he said, we're fucked for the rest of the tour. So he's just like,
sit out in the corner, Joe.
Yeah, so he told me, he said, no, because I was helping. Listen, so Ryan Distilled Entertainment, that's how I met him on tour. And once again, we have the same birthday. We're born on the same day. That's my guy.
I saw the podcast.
Yeah, so here it is. I'm helping these guys at first when I first meet them. And Rich just pulls me aside. He's like, hey, man, do not touch that shit anymore. I was like, what are you talking about, man? I hung out with them every night, but he was just like, no. Just be easy, man, because if something happens to you, it's going to fuck up everything. So don't do it.
Now I know what to say. When they ask me to help, I'll be like, look, man, insurance policy. I got to stand over here and talk to people and just look. I can't be moving stuff.
You got to be the front man.
I might get hurt. and that would be no good for anybody. So
it would be no good. And listen, nobody.
Thank
You don't want
that.
anybody else hurt because everybody is a key component to what's going on. But
thank you, Lord Nelson. I appreciate that. I'm going to use that to the full extent that I can. Believe me.
I apologize, guys. I'm just saying, but I was just speaking one of those Rich Wardisms, as I call it.
He's already a diva. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting.
Oh yeah,
it's all love, man. So before we get to your latest album, and how do you say that out? How do you say that word? How do you say it? It's
Sangrail.
So it is Sangrail. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Sangrail. Yeah, I'm a graffiti writer, so I'm big on misspelling things.
No, it's all love. I just want to make sure it's right. Sangrail.
It's basically just pronounce it phonetically. Grail.
Grail.
So.
Got you. All right. So before we get into your latest album, how many other songs did you release previously, and were they independent releases or were they with a label?
Yeah, they were independent. We put out 1, 2, 3
of them, I believe.
At least 3.
Yeah.
Steak, Masks, and
and Breakdown.
Asinine.
Did you put out?
So 3. We put out 3 songs prior to this album,
and 2 videos.
Music videos.
They made the videos with the original members of the band. Well, actually, the Masks was made with a different guitar player than that one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. James and Justin are in that one. Masks.
Okay.
But the original video, the Steak.
I've watched them.
Me and Rob, but then the other guys that were in the band at the time.
Okay.
Pull me closer. Tempt with your deceit. Slowly bolster my crippled self-esteem. Deceit. Tempt with your deceit. You try and hide. Disguise the way that's all inside. All this time, I never knew that you hope to see me burn. Your hate is real, and now I feel the blinding heat of a lesson learned.
Yeah, the song Breakdown, that's on the CD. Breakout, that's on the CD. The guitar player on that video, him and I grew up together. So we wrote the songs. We wrote Breakdown. We wrote Breakout when we were in high school.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't work out with him. He just didn't work out. But yeah, the whole plan was to be a 4-piece, but it didn't work out. So we had another guy named Doug Lane replace him,
Who's
to keep the band together because we were stuck.
Okay.
So he pretty much stuck around until James got in and he brought Justin in, and the rest is history. But that's how it all started. That was the original 3 songs that we had.
So you guys just put those out like on like DistroKid or whatever like that. Just
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. So 2022, the release of your first album, Sangrail. Please educate us on what the title means and what this album means to you.
Royalty, the royal bloodline, which is basically brotherhood, you know, cup and chalice and stuff.
Yes.
That's the that concept of it, and it's got lot to do with some of the songs that we have on there too, like a song called Da Vinci's Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Da Vinci's Riddle, man. That's about our servicemen and women, right? Yeah, it's all about them. And down here where we're at, it's a very military style and a very military area. We got a couple of Air Force bases and stuff here, but in Pensacola, we have the Naval Air Force Base, and when we get the military guys out there, they love that song. So it's fun. It's a fun song.
Mike Boyerton about how that song came about. That you dedicated that song to him.
Yeah. So Raheem was talking about that particular song, Da Vinci's Riddle. So a guy that I've known forever, because I've been singing in bands since I was 13. So I've been doing it for a long time, man. So I know a lot of people, but a good friend of ours, Mike Boyington, that comes to a lot of our shows and stuff. He was military, and he first came to us with the idea. He was like, "Man, I don't know if you're open to suggestions, but and he's like, but if you ever thought about writing a song about military stuff," and he said he kind of gave me the idea, and I was like, "Dude, I would be honored to write something for you and others that have been served in the military." So that was a big deal for me to be able to write that for him, and so we always dedicate that to him if he's there. But so then there's a lot of songs like that. I mean, I don't write about anything that it has to mean something to me, the topic. You know what I mean? I can't just write about bullshit. It's got to be something that means something. So personally, every song on that album has significant meaning to me. It's just a matter of how other people interpret it. You know what I mean? That's my art. Here it is. And I want you to get out of it what you get out of it. And I don't really want to tell you necessarily what it meant to me.
Of course.
And that's going to take away your interpretation. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of how I look at it.
I understand it clearly. And me being a military kid, man, so when you say that, man, I really understand that. Just that thing, just family, the military family, man. It had some of the best times of my life, And I still have. You're a military kid also?
I lived in Germany for a couple of years.
Yeah. So I have those friends. They're like family, just like you guys as being a band. Those guys, I still talk to them. I've known them 40 plus years, and we still talk and get on the phone. We might not see each other all the time, but we're still a really tight knit family and community of people, man. So now I feel you on that one. Well, I want to say this though, speaking about the album, me listening a few times over. So my favorites are Breakout, no doubt, and Metal Church. And may I say, I love that title. I love that title, Metal Church, man. So who or what inspired this song?
Well, Metal Church is it's a cover song from the band Metal Church.
Is it? Okay, yeah. So I saw it every time it popped up, but is it really? Okay, yeah. Listen,
some of our old school roots coming through. I think James brought the idea, right?
Yeah, possibly, but one of us did. I don't know who had the idea, but I think me and Raheem started messing with it at practice one day.
Yeah, it was just kind of a nod to how old school we are. We thought we'd pull out an. I wouldn't.
I thought it was obscure because I'm like, who the fuck's Metal Church? And then I heard the song. I was like, oh, I know the song.
Yeah. But so we knew it wasn't like it's somewhat obscure, but unless you're old school metal, I guess
know who it is.
But
the old schoolers, they love it. So
yeah, we do get a lot of requests to play that live. So
really,
people
want no, that's a really, really good song. And I know the band Metal Church, but I don't remember the song. So
well, he sings it way better than I do. But so you have to go back and listen to the original. But I did the best I could because I can't compete with those vocals, but I still had fun with it.
You made it your own, man, and that's what it's about.
That's right. That's the only way I could do it because I sure as hell couldn't imitate him.
We dropped it down.
He's like a whole octave. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he's
complimented.
He's on a whole other level.
Metal Church, we appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
For real.
So with the songs on the album, I know that when I write songs, man, anything that goes on the album, man, I love it. I really don't. I want everybody to love it, of course, but I know that I've already thought. My thought process is going through everything about how beautiful it is to me. So when I put something out there, I really put it out there for myself, even though I want everybody else to love it. And I know that's why we do it. We want everybody to love our music. There's no doubt.
Of course, yeah.
But man, I just know that when I put my stuff out there, I'm like, I love that. Somebody could say the worst things about it. I was like, I don't give a damn. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel good about what I've done. Yeah. So, and I won't allow anybody to take that away from me because I know the feeling that I had when I created that song and what it did to me. And Joe, as you said before, putting your music out there and letting the other people interpret it as they see it. And a lot of times you get something back like, well, you changed my life with this, or this meant so much to me here. And that makes, I think that makes us feel good. It's just a beautiful, anyway, man, it's just a beautiful thing, man.
Man. That's, I was actually just talking to my youngest son about this yesterday. It was, we were talking about writing lyrics and that kind of thing. And I was kind of telling him what I said to you. And I said, but there were years ago, there was a song that I had written in a band. And I remember a guy coming up to me one time years later, and he was like, dude, I just wanted to let you know that song saved my life. And I was like, what do you mean, man? He's like, well, I was going through a really hard time and I came across that song. And he said, the lyrics to that song pulled me through it. And he said, because, I didn't think I was going to make it, dude. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm good. Like, that's, if your music can do that, can save a life, dude, everything, it's all worth it. You know what I mean? At that point, I was like, okay, I could retire right now. I'm good. I have fulfilled whatever thing, life needed me to fulfill. I'm good. I can go on peacefully from here. But you just never know, man. You never know what kind of impact it's going to have on people. And I would have never gone to him and gone, well, dude, that's not what I meant by that song. Right.
You
know what I mean?
Right.
Your interpretation was all wrong. Your interpretation was fucked, man. Yeah, it shouldn't have saved you. Let's say, I mean,
like, it shouldn't have saved you, man.
If you really knew what it meant, man,
that's a song from Mystery Meat saved your life.
No, it's
that's wild. No, you let the chips land with their baby, man. That's crazy though. See, I'd have never thought you would say that. Like, no, man, that's not what it meant. You're supposed to actually kill yourself. What the hell? Holy catastrophe, man. That's bananas, man. No doubt. So, are there any other songs from each of you on that album, or because I was saying what I was saying as a whole project? Do you guys just love everything, or do you have favorites on the album? Like, this is my song right here. This talks to me the most. This makes me feel good.
Man, personally, I love every song on it, but I think the way the album comes in when we have our intro Sangreal and then we have Entropy come in.
Yes.
The way that just kicks off, it's great. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? It gives me goosebumps, like another song that we've just recently written that isn't on the album. At the end of that song, man, it makes my hair stand up on my arms. I was playing it. It's just so much fun to play, and it's so much energy. And it's like all of our songs are like that. But I think Entropy, it holds something else for me because it's something I think all five of us put in on that. That was a song that was written collaboratively, and things really worked out for it, and I love it. It's my favorite. So,
mine is Breakout because we had a chance to show what I can do. That song is just so fun to play. It's straight to the point, and then it's like people with their jaws dropped. They're like, "Wow, what the hell?"
Dope song,
yeah. That one and Nyctophilia is another one.
All right,
that's just a sexy song for me.
Come on, New York, what you got, man?
I like them all. Viable is probably my favorite.
Viable. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the end of it.
No, it's definitely a nice project, man. Dope project, man, and the orchestration and the vocals and everything is love, man. I'm just being honest, man. I enjoyed it, man. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, truly nice. So how much do you think you've grown as a band since the release of Sangria?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'd say we've grown pretty well, like as far as a unit, as far as a professional unit. Looking at it from a business standpoint now, as opposed to just we're just musicians, we want to get up and play. Have to look at it as a business now. I mean, getting the permissions to put Metal Church on our album, to getting management, and now having to always pay attention to numbers and having certain things out at certain times and social media. It's PR. I mean, it's man, it's not easy. People think it's just us picking up our instruments and just filling around. It's not like that at all, man. It's a job.
Yes,
well,
yeah.
So, but it's definitely, I think the group has grown since then. I think with our some of the music we've been writing as well has gotten a lot more what's the word? I wouldn't say technical, but I don't know.
It's evolving.
It's evolving. Thank you.
Okay.
It's definitely evolving now. So it's coming into its own. Really is coming into its own now. So I've been with you guys for 3 years now, going on 4, and it's just
has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah, almost 4, I believe. But it's just I've just seen the evolution from the beginning to now, and I've learned a lot since the album has come out about, like I said, the business and the market, and even market research for merchandising. I did a lot of that stuff just to figure out what would sell. You know what I'm saying? With what I can do, because I do most of the art for the band as well. So trying to figure out not just what I want to put on a T-shirt, but what I think would work. So going to all these different shows and paying attention to what they're selling, the kind of clothing, the merchandising they're selling. What's the brand? What's the cost? It's holy wow, man! That's a job in itself, man. So.
Hey, man, let me just say, future reference, if you can get an artist in your band.
And that helps out. I actually, so for the band Violent Life, Violent Death, I played in a band called No Power, No Crown. And so after the Stuck Mojo days, after my Lies stint.
Stuck Mojo.
Yeah. And so my boy Justin, I call him Just Nice, so he plays bass in Violent Life, Violent Death. And so I found out that he's really an artist. He used to tattoo also. He just made up this real dope T-shirt design I just got the other day. And so I'm going to make some T-shirts with it. It's something that I had in my mind forever. And it was just the fact that all of a sudden, bam, here he is. So my other guy that I just interviewed, the conversation that's out right now with Curtis Strickland, he's got the Tea and Fuckery podcast. So he's out in LA. And they've got Hell's Heart merch company. And so, man, I just meeting these guys and seeing it, as you say, having that artist and having someone and I'm just like, Justin, he's like, I got you, man. I was just like, that's so fucking awesome. I was just like, yes. So I appreciate it. Well, let me ask you this, because you were speaking about it. So doing all of that, what I've found that, since I started my podcast and everything like that, time is of the essence now. Trying to put all this stuff in there, and as you speak about trying to figure this out and figure that out, and you see why, like, some of these big record labels, I'm not saying record labels don't fuck you, because of course they do, but it's a business. So they have all these different areas doing these kind of things that we have to do ourselves now, and you just see how important a team is. So beyond you guys, do you have other people that are there with you, helping you with these things, or is it just all in house? Nothing else. Nobody touches anything. Just you guys.
We have
we've got we're working with Ryan with Distilled Entertainment, and that's probably the biggest move that we have made since we've been together as a band. Just to take it to the next level, so that we can start looking at jumping on some festivals, maybe some tour opportunities, because we're kind of at the point where I'm not saying we're doing some really good stuff in where we are, but we need to do more of that in other areas as well. More exposure. I got you. That's really, so that's really what we're focused on now. And so Ryan with Distilled Entertainment is a huge move for us in terms of support and where we go from here.
Indeed, man. Love, man. Well,
He's been a lot of help. Definitely, we like the guy. He's definitely
Big shout out to my man Ryan over there. So
hey, that guy is he inspires me, man. He's just out there getting it. And he always, so anytime we've had conversation and me watching them hustle so hard, selling CDs and shit while we were on tour, man, I was just like looking at them every night. I was just like, these dudes, man, are just nonstop. But they understood what it was about. And, and I'm telling you, man, I watched them every night. And that's why I just like, man, I want to be involved in all of this, man. I was like, and I kept telling them, I was like, sell. Tell what you do. And they just got at it, man. And they didn't have any inhibitions about what was going on. They understood it. And they've been doing it for so long. So, I was just like, hey, man, I loved it, man. It was really, really dope. So, quick question, though. Okay, children. Now, you guys are not as old as me now. So,
I don't know.
I mean, I'm 75. I just look real good.
Damn, you look damn good for 75.
So, are any of your children, how do they look at you guys, with your music? What do they see? Is it just like, it's just dad, it's just pop, dad? Or is it just like, are they into it? Or are they too young to, they might be too young?
My 12-year-old Chalice, she's into it. She supports us a lot.
Yeah, she's a big fan of us. My son Caleb, he comes to basically almost all of any show that he can get in. That's all ages. He's coming.
Awesome.
Yeah, he loves. I turned him on to something. He didn't think he was going to like it, man. He absolutely loves going to live shows now. I mean, he's a big supporter of it. He likes to know what's going on with the band, and he tries to talk to his friends about us and stuff like that. So he's definitely it's good to have him in our corner. He's a great kid.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
From the age of 18 until now, I've been singing in metal bands consistently, with the exception of like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had way too much going on.
Right.
I had to step away from it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And what got me back into music was my oldest daughter.
Right.
Because she came up to me one day and she said, "Daddy," she said, "I know that when I was younger, I came and saw you play a couple of shows." She said, "But I really don't remember." Mm-hmm. And she said, "But I'm old enough now, I can go to the clubs." She's like, "You need to get a band back together." And I was like, we're all old now. I was like, I can't just pull people out of the air and put a band together, And it wasn't a month later, I ran into Raheem.
Yeah.
And then Harley, the guy that was the original guitar player, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to start writing some music." And I said, "Well, if you record something, send it to me. If you want some lyrics on it." And they were like, "Oh yeah," and that was it. And so I told her, I said, "Well, babe," I said, "I didn't think it would happen." I said, "But I think we're getting a band together."
Awesome, man.
Getting the band back together.
Awesome.
That was it. And so my kids had a lot to do with the music. So.
In fact, that was his daughter that was in the steak video.
Oh, yeah. Really? Okay. Yeah.
That's her. I said, "This is all your fault, so you got to be in the
She was the catalyst. All right, quiet dudes.
No, anything to do with it. I think they'd rather me play country music, probably.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that either, man. Listen, I love all music, man. I'm not a genre snob. I love everything. That's my term. No genre snobbing. I don't believe it. I love everything. Yes, indeed. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
My kids love it. All of them.
They all love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because I know my kids do too. They're a little older now. They used to. I used to play everything. As I said, I play country, I play metal, I play hip hop, I'm playing fucking classical music. I'll play it all. Just whatever. If it's hot to me. That's how I live my life. And they just like, "Oh, if you play another damn reggae song, Dad, you're killing us." I was just like, "What are you talking about, man? This is the greatest shit." But now, as they're older, they appreciate it so much more now. Because they'll be like, "Oh, I remember my dad used to play this song all the time." But I was like, "You damn right, man."
I was like that too.
Yeah, just giving them culture, man. I think they need that. Not trying to force anything on you, but you need to see more stuff. You need to listen to more stuff, man. So that's
I
me.
definitely did that for me. He was always listening to everything from Zeppelin to Steely Dan to
Yes.
Linda Ronstadt. I mean, he was listening to everything, dude. My mom, Billy Squire to the Eagles, and other stuff, you know. So growing
hell,
up,
on the way to practice, I was listening to Herb Alpert, 1980, from the Rise record.
Hey man, all I'm saying to you, every band you guys just mentioned, man, is just crazy to me because if I pull up my playlist on Spotify or whatever, I've got all of that. You talking about Herb Alpert?
Now, yeah.
Oh my goodness,
it's what I listen to. It's ridiculous, you know.
Man says Steely Dan, man. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Woo.
Yep.
Anyway, man, I'm sorry, man. I get into it because I love it like that, man. I can't lie to you, man.
Good, dude. So as you say, it's all love.
It's all love, baby.
All
love. I always tell people like it is all love because you either love me or you love to hate me, but it's all love, man. So it's no worries.
Either way, it's love.
Yeah, either way, it's all love, man. So what can your fans expect from you guys in the near future?
Well, we've got some new music that we've written, and I think moving forward, we're gonna record and just drop some singles. And so that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
We're gonna make a few new videos. We're definitely we've been in the works with videos. We've been talking a lot about it with songs that we want to film and stuff like that, and talk concepts and stuff like that. So we have some videos in the works that we want to start, you know, getting onto here real soon as well. We've got a few shows coming up.
Well, we're wanting to get out there and see the country. We want to get our music out there.
Awesome.
Even abroad too.
Hopefully I can get some new merchandising together too for some new art, stuff like that.
I don't think that'll be too hard for you, young man. And I do want to say that your, once again, your imagery and your artwork and stuff like that is dope, man. I like it a lot.
I appreciate that.
So knowing that you did it, man, it's in-house, man. It's all love, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So last question, and so all five of you can answer this one. I like the quiet dudes over there, man. It's like a portrait over there to the left side, man.
It's shit, man. I tried.
It's beautiful. So, last question. What is the last song you listened to?
The last song I listened to.
The Brand New Metal Church with the new singer.
Yeah, well, that would be the last thing we all listened to because we were listening
you all listened to that. Yeah.
Yep, right here.
But I think what was it? It was on the way before, but on the way here, it was Don Henley. What's that? Boys of Summer. That's what it was.
Oh man, yeah.
Mine was Herb Alpert, 1980, on the way up here. That's a jazz song I love since my dad told me when I was a kid.
Well, if we're going back a little bit, then Silosis.
Silosis.
If you haven't heard of Silosis, check them out.
Yeah, I'd like to ask that question because you got, who knows what you guys are listening to. So you might give me something just like you said that I don't know that. So I have to go listen to that. I have to go pull it up and see and check it out and see what's going on. Most definitely.
I think the last thing I listened to was off of the Down second album. I've been listening to that lately.
Oh, right on.
Such a good album. Oh, it's such a good album.
So I'm waiting for Far Left, You're Far Right. He's just once again
trying to remember what we were listening to on the right over there. Angel Vivaldi, I think. Right?
That sounds like something you'd be listening to, Angel Vivaldi.
Yeah.
Angel Vivaldi.
I was listening to Lamb of God before we left the house.
Yeah.
And I heard a little Post Malone before we left too.
I got you.
Right on.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedule to hang out with me for a little bit.
Thanks for having us. It's an honor.
Now, see, but I want to let you know though, I thank you for that. But really, it's all about you guys, and it's about what you're doing and us, doing our best to promote the greatness that you have that I believe that the rest of the world needs to hear also. And support you. And once again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
I want to say something to all the other musicians out there and everybody else that's listening, man. It's such a horrible time that we've got going on. A lot of negative energy in the air with everything that's going on. So I just want to tell people, put your shoulders back, keep your head up, stay humble, and be a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
Like, just, man, we need more positivity Yeah, we need more of that energy out there in the world, and
I believe through music we can do that.
And
Yes,
I believe,
sir.
go to your next show. You never know what it's going to do to you, you know? So
Support your local venues.
yeah, support your local venues, you know? I want to give a big shout out to Ian Hall too, Downtown Music Hall. So
Big shout out to you.
Ian
Big shout out to
Christensen, sorry.
Ryan, all the musicians out there, all the fans. We do this for you.
See, that's awesome, because I was going to ask you guys anything else you guys want to speak on or say. And listen, you went right into it. And I love when that happens, man. It's a beautiful thing. So
Right.
please give the people, watchers and listeners, your social media information and all your other contact information.
Okay.
So you can find us, Dark Kind of Man, on Facebook. We're also on TikTok and Instagram.
So Dark 25 Instagram. That's the Dark Kind of Man.
So
on
Dark
Instagram.
25, yeah.
We've got a YouTube channel where you can see the videos that we've put out so far.
We even have a website. I know, one of those things, right? What is it? DarkKindofManBand.com or Dark Kind of Man Official?
Yeah,
Spotify. Don't forget Spotify.
Yeah, go to
Yeah.
follow us on Spotify.
Yeah, you can. All our music's out there on the platforms.
Yeah.
And
All my art, you can find me on Instagram at Smirk1Art. So SMERKONEART.
Indeed. So anything else you guys want to say, talk about? I'm just asking.
I can name drop these great bands that are coming out of this area all day long.
Go ahead and do it, man. Listen,
we've got some great bands coming out. Like,
everybody's watching and want us to play their area, send us some venue information.
Yeah,
we'll reach out to them, see if we can come that way.
We'd love to.
For sure. That's a big thing right there,
Yeah.
But we've got some great bands like, KTK. We got Control the Chaos or Confront the Chaos out there. They're rising. We've got, After the Storm's coming back. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're making a comeback.
Okay.
X Formation. You've got Rotting World. Beyond Misconception. October Noir.
You got Killhammer.
You've got No End in Sight. Our friends Skulldozer. They just got a record deal. They're from Mississippi. So
Dread from Mobile, Alabama.
So
yeah,
it's just
good bands. Grimoire out of Panama City.
Right. Grimoire, yeah. Beyond Misconception.
American Backstab.
I mean, God, dude. Paper Matches. I mean, there's so many bands that are making moves out here. Worthy of the crown. They're starting to really take off. So you should look into them too. They're a great bunch of guys too. So
I'm going to say something that Ryan always says, and I've taken it and I use it a lot. He said, we just need more good human beings. He and Hell B, one of the guitarists, was, and that is one of the things that I believe that to be a true statement. We do need more just good human beings. And I'm going to tell you guys something, with you guys just speaking on these other bands, that just shows your care for what's going on, because a lot of people, it's all about me. I mean, me. You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that you guys have taken the time to shout out all these other bands and show them love, that means a lot, man. I want you guys to know.
Man, I want to push anybody that's pushing themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, better people out there. I mean, if we can't help each other in the scene, then there is no scene. And in Northwest Florida, man, it's about to blow up. I mean, as far as the bands coming out of here, it's ridiculous.
The whole Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida.
Well, yeah, the whole Southern metal scene. Yeah, we've got some good bands. You're right.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, Gulf Coast music.
You said Gulf Coast music. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's just Gulf Coast music scene. The scene coming out of the Gulf Coast it's man. We got a lot of old heads. We got a lot of young guys. I mean, the music, the different, there's new sounds coming from this area, and it's amazing when some of these groups are going to be able to take off and start to really get seen. We're going to have new music for people, and it's going to be great. It's just going to be a good time.
Definitely awesome.
People need to pay attention to the fucking South. We got something doing down here, and it ain't moonshine. Yes, the beaches, man.
Well, once again, gentlemen, I really appreciate you, and thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is yours truly, the Lord Nelson. That is from the podcast Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals Entertainment, and our amazing guest, dark con of man. Clap you up again, clap you up again. Yes, indeed. Look at him, look at him. Look at this dude over here, man. This guy is. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you.
You too, man. Take care. All right, Lord. Take care, man.
Pull me closer, tempt with your deceit, slowly bolster my crippled self-esteem. Deceit, tempt with your deceit. You try and hide, disguise the way that's all inside. Stand as victim, master of your game. Shove the mirror, the masking of your shame. Your shame, masking of your shame. You try, untied, disguise the withered soul inside. Pull me closer.
Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.